Welcome to a short reflection by Sebastian Mahfoud on Canto 15 of Dante's Paradiso. The souls of the great cross are engaged in song and prayer at the moment they reveal themselves to Dante, and suddenly they all stop singing. Every bit of attention is focused on the person who has arrived in heaven, still in his body and with divine revelation as his guide. One soul immediately descends to the foot of the cross, and, after adjusting his speech to Dante's level, identifies himself as Cacciaguida, Dante's great-great-grandfather, the father of the man who took the name Alighieri, and, consequently, bequeathed it to Dante. This great-grandfather, Cacciaguida's son, is still, incidentally, on the first cornice of pride in purgatory, and it didn't happen that Dante, when there, stumbled upon him. Dante himself is worried about that cornice, and the advice that Cacciaguida gives him to offer up good works for his great-grandfather may also hold Dante in good stead. Dante may not have to worry about that cornice too long, though, for Cacciaguida reveals to him that he's predestined for heaven in his first salutation, when he asked in Latin, "To whom was the gate of heaven ever thrown open twice, as it is to you?" Ciardi notes that St. Paul was borne up in a dream to the third heaven, but Dante has come in the flesh. But the reference to that incident in 2 Corinthians doesn't indicate that St. Paul was taken up out of body. In fact, St. Paul himself says, "Whether in body or out of body, I do not know." Here, Cacciaguida is revealing that St. Paul's journey had to have been out of body, if he's astonished at Dante's journey in body. Certainly, others like Elijah, Christ, and Mary were borne up in body, but the implication is that they didn't do it twice. Cacciaguida, pleased as one can be with a worthy descendant, proceeds to explain his martyrdom to Dante, following a short reminiscence on the good old days in Florence, which reads a bit like Garrison Keillor's Lake Wobegon days, where all the women are strong, all the men are good-looking, and all the children are above average. These were happier times before Florence fell into iniquity and spiritual decay, times when the Church also knew how to fight for what is its by right, in its calling for a holy war against the Islamic horde, the evil creed whose founder still circles the ninth Bolgia of Hell's eighth circle. Note that Dante didn't waffle on his opinion about Islam. He treated it as a schismatic sect in hell, and maintains that its creed is evil in heaven. So evil, in fact, that those who died fighting against it were instantly translated to the fifth sphere of heaven as martyrs, those who died defending the Christian faith, an idea parallel to that in Islam, where those who die in jihad automatically go to heaven. The important thing to note is another example of Dante's family pride. He has Cacciaguida knighted by Conrad, therefore conferring upon his lineage the glow of nobility. This, however, is not spoken in pride, something Dante will discuss further in the next canto, for a certain amount of pride in one's ancestors can be regarded more as a form of piety than as a form of hubris. Concerning these crusades against Islam, they were the military equivalent of interfaith dialogue. Today, the crusade has moved from destructive war into constructive talk. The foundation for the Catholic dialogue with Islam since Vatican II can be found in Nostra Aetate, which is the declaration on the relation of the Church to non-Christian religions. In this document, Pope Paul VI announced that the Church regards with esteem also the Muslims, and he gave the following reasons for the purpose of building up the elements of their faith that are consonant with those of Christianity. They adore one God, living and subsisting in himself, merciful and all-powerful, the creator of heaven and earth, who has spoken to men. They take pains to submit wholeheartedly to even his inscrutable decrees, just as Abraham, with whom the faith of Islam takes pleasure in linking itself, submitted to God. Though they do not acknowledge Jesus as God, they revere him as a prophet. They also honor Mary, his virgin mother. At times they even call on her with devotion. In addition, they await the day of judgment, when God will render their deserts to all those who have been raised up from the dead. Finally, they value the moral life, and worship God especially through prayer, almsgiving, and fasting. If enculturation is the process by which each people make the revealed message penetrate into their own culture, and express the salvific truth with their own language, as Pope Benedict XVI has explained, then Islam, as the first major schismatic movement away from Christianity, already has within it the capacity to be converted back to the true faith. It is for this reason that the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue has been engaged in dialogue with Islam. The Council has explained that the manner in which Christians will respond to the call to personal involvement in dialogue and proclamation will depend on the circumstances and also on their degree of preparation, which is something we Christians ought to take as a challenge to prepare not only ourselves, but also our children for the work that lies ahead of us. The souls we encounter in the beatific vision might praise Allah's beneficence, that He cared enough to send missionaries imbued with the Holy Spirit, who were able to more fully reveal to them the truth of Christ, already expressed within their Islamic faith.